Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Ebony, and I just was trying to go live a minute ago. And last time I told y'all that I couldn't get on my TikTok and go live or whatever because y'all know I'm going back on both phones, but it just did the same thing to me again and again. But I realized it got to be that little fake monetization that they gave me. Because now it's still, it won't even allow me to go live. So I said, Lord, it got to be some mighty, mighty powerful that you got to send a message out for me to be fighting social media like this. Remember, we were still fighting for Butterfly Nation on Facebook. They got hacked over 400,000 followers. Tried to be quiet, created several accounts. Now it's TikTok, and I didn't even know that I had no 10,000 followers and it got monetized over there. Now I can't even go live on TikTok. So I said, it got to be a very powerful, powerful message to the people. And I love my people, which brings me to something that happened yesterday, y'all. I was so hurt. I was so, I don't know, thrown off or whatever because one of my butterflies, original butterflies, passed yesterday. And her daughter had called me and I was asleep. I was asleep. But I told y'all I had ended up getting a new phone. And a new phone number. Look, I've been waiting for this phone. I got this from Tia Kemp. But I ain't get it. I just couldn't wait to snap me a thing. Oh, I was finna get y'all. I was finna get y'all. Yes, I was. I'm ready to get y'all. Goodbye. You feel me? But anyway, so I'm laying down. So I just got the number within the last 2, 3 days. So it's not many people that got the number correct. So the phone rang, and I'm like, hello. And so the girl said, Mama dead. So I said, huh? And she was like, Mama dead. So I'm like, who mama? You know, because my biological mama passed when I was 18, 19 from breast cancer. Remember I told y'all that. So I'm like, who mama? And so she was like, our mama. And so it's not too many people that I call mama and stuff. So I'm like, Bobby Wagner? Now it's kind of registering in my mind, you feel me? So I'm up now. And so she was just like, yeah. And I walked in the house and found her on the floor. If, and so I'm tripping because she calm, you know, ain't no crying. I'm really not taking in what she really saying. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just really like everywhere. So I'm like, well, what happened? You know, did she have a stroke? Did she have a heart attack? Because I just talked to her like 2 days ago. We was laughing, playing, and talking about me coming back to Louisiana when the wound back up and all this. So what happened within 2 days? I don't know. So I'm asking her what happened and stuff. And then so she was just like, oh, we don't know yet, cause she, you know, like that. The coroner hadn't even came and got the body, y'all. You hear me? And it just threw me out. And so how we got real close or whatever is because in the beginning when I got shot and stuff, I was still coming live. You know, I was still laughing, I was still playing, I was still encouraging, and I was still motivating and stuff. And so the mother actually ran across my video and reached out to me privately about her daughter that was going through dialysis and stuff. She got to go to dialysis and, just having a hard time with bouncing back and finding herself. And she was just like, if this girl could go through all that, and still smile or still live, then please help my child, motivate her, you feel me, whatever. So that's how we start talking. And so now I'm like, is you gonna be okay? You know, like, where you going? What you gonna do? You know, and she was just like, I'm going with my uncle, and then I'm going back home. So I'm like, home? Well, you and your mom stayed at home? Like, I don't think this gonna be a good idea, you know, after the fact, you know, because sometimes being alone is a very hard thing. And then when you be alone and then go to grieving and get sad and depressed and stuff, that don't really, that's not good because I went through it. You feel me? And I know that I was stronger than a lot of people, but I lost myself. You feel me? I lost a lot in my struggle. And so I'm just thrown off. And so I'm back to the conversation at hand. And so I said, well, you going to be okay? And she said, Mama told me what to do. And so it really bothered me. And I was crying all yesterday. I had planned to come and talk to y'all and stuff yesterday because I was trying to get myself together, get the room together and stuff or whatever. And it threw me off. You feel me? It was unexpected, and then it just showed me how quick no, it didn't show me. It reminded me. It reminded me of how quick things can happen. And so I imagined finding my mother on the floor, and you thought to call me, a lady from social media, in a whole different state. And we call each other sisters and brothers and mamas, and we be saying that we family. And I just didn't know I was that important, you know. And so then that wore on me because, like in my walk, it was a lot of people that I encouraged. It was a lot of people that was waiting on my videos. It was a lot of people that I uplifted. And so I was already trying to come back. And so it made me feel like I had disappointed my people or, like I said, just not even realize how important I was to the next person, you know? And I think we do that a lot in life. We don't realize how important we really are. And then it made me go to thinking like, and I was like, I ain't even thought about passing. You know, like I I ain't told how do you prepare your child? Like I ain't even did no conversations and stuff like that. So I was just everywhere. But it really, really I can't even really say the words for it. It hit different. It hit very, very different. And so I said, well, I wonder, is that how the pastors and stuff be feeling when, because they say the pastors, you know, is responsible for the flock or the sheep and our souls and stuff, right? And I have been having a few issues or feelings about the church people, not the church within itself, because the church is only a building. But the people in the church really, really, really need to get it together. And it saddens me because you can go anywhere in the world and be accepted, be received, be loved. But when you go to the church, That's where you get judged the most. And that's supposed to be where the help supposed to come from. But they're not operating in the spirit, and they're not applying what they're supposed to be learning to your everyday life. And so I've had a problem with that. Look, and y'all know I done got in trouble at church. I done been put on punishment at church. I done left churches. I done had conference with pastors and all kinds of stuff. And I just was like, who am I? Because I never would have thought that I could correct somebody, let alone a pastor. Not sin for me, not rough and rugged Ebony, not the biggest sinner, not me, you know. But God is coming back real soon, and he gonna start with the church, and start at the head. And so we are in a very, very detrimental season. And I just don't have time to play with nobody, especially when it comes to my soul and my life, because I didn't meet God at the church. Like I told y'all that. I grew up in the church, and I thank God for growing up in the church because He gave me a special covering, especially in my foolishness. And I told you I was in church, the choir, Bible study, choir rehearsal, the adult choir rehearsal, children choir rehearsal, grandma on the motherboard, all this stuff. So I go to church 5 days a week. And I stopped going to church when I got old enough because I was tired of just going. It wasn't even a specific reason. Nobody had did anything to me. I just got rebellious enough to say I ain't coming no more. I don't want to go there no more. I don't want to go to church every day no more. Then I started doing what I wanted to do or whatever. And a lot of times we do that in life too. But I had my own special encounter with God at the hospital. You feel me? When I woke up, when God allowed me to wake up, because I had no pulse. But I tell y'all, no pulse don't mean you're dead, because God is the only one that gives life or death. And so when I woke up in that hospital, we been say just like it. Look, before I got shot, I would do everything I want to do. Just say that, just boop. But then when I got that put down and look and open them eye, open that eye back up. That I ain't even supposed to be opening no eye back up. First of all, I ain't even supposed to woke up. And then I'm still alive. So I can't continue to do the same things. I can't continue to be the same person. I can't continue. So I had to reevaluate myself and change some things with myself from within. And that's also a journey. And standing alone and being obedient, it's not easy. It don't feel good. It don't. It don't. And it's not easy. But when you got a made up mind, because I told him, I gave him a whole cheek. I gave him a whole cheek. I ain't got now another cheek to give you. I ain't got now another prison sentence in me. I ain't got now another loss in me like that. So I don't want to give the world nothing else. So I surrender. I give up. I quit. I quit. That's why they say we have to kill flesh daily. And every day we have to ask for forgiveness or whatever and start over fresh. And so I was thinking when I was talking to one of my little friends the other day, and she was complaining about still being down and still not being able to go out the house, your legs swole and all this kind of stuff. And then, we be in church sometimes. We see the same people go to the altar every Sunday. And if you go to the altar and believe that you are healed, then you are healed. I was screaming. I was healed with the big old hole still in my face. I was screaming God was going to do it with my mouth still twisted. I was screaming God was going to do it with my eyes still matted together. So my faith made me whole. And that's why a lot of us have different faith levels. That's why God do different things for different people, because everybody walk is different. And I didn't have an ordinary, simple situation. I had a stupid, crazy situation. So I had to have some stupid, crazy faith. And that's what I did. And so now, next month will be 4 months. And when that lady was doing all that complaining, because you'll never find a video of Ebony complaining. You'll never find a video of Ebony mumbling and grumbling. Oh, this, or oh, that, or why this, or why that, and all that. I didn't do that. And so I said, for a person that got shot in the face, had all my bones broken. Now, these are facts. These are facts. This in black and white. This is from me, okay? All my bones broken. I matted together. Nose, I lost my smell for 2 whole years. Not 2 whole, mouth. And they have plates, metals, screws, rods, and whatever else that lady was saying on that paper. Because I didn't want to hear it. I never did. I never wanted to hear it. I never wanted to talk about it. Because I wished it never happened. But for a person to go through all that physical damage, and I don't have doctor's appointments, we went through that. We've been through that. I don't take it's not a medicine that I take every day that I have to have, period. So if God can do all that for me, why you don't think he can make your swelling go down to your leg? Hello? He said he gave you the ability and the strength to move any mountain in your life. And if you act and walk in things as if they are already done, why you gotta keep praying about the same thing every Sunday? You don't even accept your own healing. You don't even believe in your own healing. So, where we going with this? And when I say everyday lives and people in the church, because let me tell you about a specific incident that happened Sunday, the day Thursday, okay? Now, I'm just walking in the church, and you know how it be somebody's birthday, and they had the birthday cards they pass around, people sign, different people sign cards and stuff. So after Ashley got through signing the card, I got the ink pen in my hand, and all I was finna write was, may God give you the desires of your heart. Miss Shirley, I'm gonna call you when I get off the live. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, just hold up a second. All right. And so all right. So I'm signing. I got to make God GI and a deacon, minister. Somebody that sit in the pulpit every Sunday, that do all that jumping around, hooping, hollering, came and snatched the card, literally, from mid-sentence in the air. Now, don't you know I got a reflex that almost popped you because you was out of line. I almost popped you. Yeah, right then. But because you snatched a paper from up under me and said that it was time to go to serve in the church. But people still walking in. And what them little 2 seconds was going to stop anything. But when we got in the sanctuary, you shouted, hooped, and hollered for the whole 30 minutes. Mm-mm. All that hooping, hollering, shout, speaking in tongue, I ain't being funny. Lord knows I'm not. It don't impress me. And it's not going to get you to heaven. Because God blessed me with the gift of tongues also. And I was 14. And I didn't even want the gift of tongues or to be in line. And see, that's the difference. See, y'all be faking and putting on want to have these titles and these positions when I ran from mine. And still sometimes do. I still run because it's a higher calling, which means more of everything got to die. That's why I always told y'all, don't call me no pastor, don't call me no event, don't call me none of that, because I'm not ready to, I'm not upholding on my end. And I know God said, come as you are, and he'll work with you and stuff like that, but I know better. I know better. So I wouldn't even take that position because I know I'm not right within. So when you know better, you do better. And some people need to reevaluate themselves, reevaluate their insides, and sit down. Sit down. And some of them need to be quiet. Just like I had to learn how to be quiet. Because sometimes we talk too much. And we'll say the wrong thing. And God definitely ain't told you to say that and do that. So it's not that I got a problem with the church per se, but it's the people that's in the church that's supposed to know better that's not doing better. And that hurts me because I'm really striving to do better and get closer to God. But y'all spirits and attitudes will run a person away and run them right back to the same thing that hurt them. And that's not right. And y'all be wondering why y'all only got a handful of people there and why the ministry is dying and why the church is dying. And that's because y'all have not done anything no different. Y'all are still stuck in y'all same ways with the same mentalities and the same old school traditions that y'all have been taught to go with and go along with. And nobody wants to stand and make a change or stand for the right. And y'all have gotten God's house confused with y'all house. Yeah, I think I said that decent. I think I said that in order. Yeah. Then, hello. So now, that put me in a struggling position, right? Because now I'm struggling, okay? Now, As I'm struggling, I'm here. I got a little song. Look, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all what the dude name. Y'all know I love Anthony Q because he the one I came and told y'all about the song. About the son, S-O-N, about the son, and it touched me and it moved me because I could relate to my son. And so as I'm struggling and stuff, then I come across this song right here. And it just was made. And so I said, the messages to the churches are getting very, very loud. And I ain't being fun even back to Drewski's skit about the church and the mega churches. That's why they were so upset because he was hitting some and stepping on some toes, okay? Now, Anthony Q. What? There you go. Now, look at me like, oh, like, look, hold on. Let me get my facts together. You know who it is. Let me get my facts together. Let me turn it down some, y'all. Hold on. Turn it down some. And I don't want no copyright. So, hold on. Okay, here you go. Now, listen to this. Now, I don't want no commercial. Get your butt back. Wait a minute. Get back. Me to talk about me, daddy. How you gon' pray for me to talk about me, daddy? Cause only God do the judging and you ain't him. We are full of sin and need to repent. It's the same rebellion that got Jonah through all the shit. You in church every Sunday and claiming you're saved. Why full of hate and stuck in your ways? We all need God and praying for change. You running folks out, but claim the devil to blame. Some guys devil ain't blame. No, it ain't right. You can't operate in hate and still move in Christ. Just encourage my faith. Don't try to deal my life. Steady running off his children, you gon' pay the price. When I just came to hear the word and not be chastised or turn away. I see the eyes, but judging me, you got some nerve. I got said to come at you, to come as you are. Thought he said to come at you, to come as you are. All is welcome, come as you. You heard what he said. Yes, you did. On everything. Yes, you did. Hello? Don't nobody want to talk about that? But, yeah. I said, what you say, Anthony? So I didn't feel wrong because, it was like, I had somebody like, um, you blessed. You know, I'm like, you the chosen one. They just don't know the God in you, and that's not my fault. You feel me? That's not my fault that they don't receive. That's not my fault that they still confused. That's not my fault that they didn't receive because God um is using everyday people and people that he least expect. But sometimes people will look at the messenger and won't even receive the message because you're too caught up in my jeans and my tennis shoes. But the pastor could throw on their little robe thing and preach the same message and you'll receive it because of how he looked. But you'll miss the message when he's using everyday people in this season. You feel me? If it's a new wave coming through, and I ain't even gonna say because I believe that the church is ready to receive some changes and the new wave But once again, it's the people in the church and in their self that gonna get in the way. And y'all gonna run the wrong person away or run the wrong person away at the wrong time. And y'all will continue to suffer because God also tells us about a dying church. And you got to pray for them, but I can't stand still because you at a standstill. I'm not at a standstill. I'm on my walk. I'm on my journey. I'm eager every day. I'm willing every day. Send me, I'll go every day. Now let me give y'all some scripture. Let me give y'all some scripture for today. Today, February 12th. She has done, no, that was for the 11th. My bad, I'm lying. In peace, I will lay down and sleep. You alone, God of peace, are my safety. May I trust in you and encourage others to do the same. So the scripture comes from Psalms 4 and 8. And within you, I will lay and rest. In you, I will keep my eyes on you. Just like when that lady snatched that cord from up under me. So when you snatch that cord from up under me, not being fine, but you didn't disturb the spirit. You didn't sent the spirit right on out the way. Now I got to rejuvenate. Now I got to regroup and keep my eyes on him. And now I got to ask him to give me strength to get back focused and get in your will and in your way because now I'm looking at everybody crazy. Look, you know how you somebody take now you look around looking at everybody. But I ain't come to look at the people. I came to look and keep my eyes on you. You feel? So then all the dancing, hooping, hollering, starting comes around. Now here comes number two person. So all they doing all that little dancing, hooping around, and I'm still literally looking up at the sky. Cause that's where my help and my strength come from. You feel? So they say, oh, grab a partner. Oh, go praise with your sister. Oh, go praise with your brother. I still got my eyes to the hills, okay? So you say, oh, Miss Ebony need a partner. Look, I'm finna tell you exactly how that move went right there. I'm still looking up here. I said, oh, Miss Ebony need a partner. I said, no, I don't. My partner is Jesus. That's the only partner I got to tangle up with the praise. I don't need nobody to help motivate me to praise and enjoy and celebrate. Get back. Get back. Get back. Uh-uh. There. Now, because God is our power. Our power. So you can, and the word is true. So serve it. Go on. You feel? Now I can listen again. Now I can hear. So I enjoy myself. You feel? I enjoy myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even studying number one or number two. I'm going on by my bed. Now it's time for church to be over with, right? I'm all right. I'm back happy playing. So you know how you have a coffee station in the little donuts or whatever. So they had some little donuts and stuff out there or whatever. So I walk over there to get a donut. I'm talking about dope and water. Yeast, okay, yeah, sugar water. All right, so I watch how it goes on over there to the thing. And so they get the donut and the lady say, oh, you can't have now one of these counted for the people that didn't get in there this morning. So if you work the donut station from this morning, then that mean you would have knew I ain't come up naked now that morning then, wouldn't it? Right? I mean, come, I don't know if it, I don't know. But that was it. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I got to go. Oh, no, 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 no. And if they say you are not supposed to leave, the devil was definitely busy. He was definitely busy. Yeah, I told y'all that nigga swift and he crafty. Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. And he's always on his job. He always on his job because he got a job to do. But you got to be on yours. Hello? So, yes, he was busy. But get what? I'm going to get up out of here before I fall into the devil trap. Because your traps ain't working. You feel me? Because I received the message and I still praised. You know what I'm talking about now? You ain't finna send me out the door the same way I came in or even worse. Ain't that what they say? Don't come to church and leave the same way you came. Well, look like the people in the church made it even worse. I don't know. I don't know. So, for all the people that's been church hurt, and be talking about, we gonna change our words. We're gonna change our words. Because the church is the business. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do the whole business like that. We ain't gonna do everything. It's some of the people and the spirits that they operating in is not of God. And some of the spirits that they operating in will run a weak person back. So if I was a baby or a beginner or something, that could have damaged me. But thank God, I know God for myself. Hello? And I didn't come to praise and glorify and magnify nobody but God. And God is the only one that has the power to give life and death, and the only one that got heaven or hell to put you in. So everybody, keep your eyes on God and not people. Keep your eyes on God and not people. Anywhere, in a situation. Because people will deter you. People will let you down. People will upset you. But people don't have that much power and authority in real life. Okay? So with that, I share. And I just wanted to let y'all know that I love y'all and I love y'all and I love y'all. I really want to say let y'all know that we had lost Butterfly, original Butterfly, Miss Bobby Wagner, and she was from Louisiana, and that really made me feel a certain type of way. So I definitely wanted to come check in with my people and let y'all know what was going on and that I was going to be doing better because I realized and when we be listening to these instructions and what God told us to do in on our journey and stuff, I had to go back and redirect myself on God gave me specific instructions and it was to go live. And God enlarged my platform and my territory because of my obedience. But I found myself going to different church buildings when maybe God had already blessed me with the church. Because I get more fun and fulfillment when I be talking to my people and we be talking about the word and doing out the daily bread and laughing and playing. So, Ebony, how is you going to continue to build up other people's ministry and walk when God literally placed one in your own hands? So I said, oh, look. I said, oh, God, that was fire. That was fire. That was fire. And then losing my little lady yesterday, while all this stuff going on in my head and in my mind and on my heart, heavy, you feel me? And about, just talking to her 2 days ago, laughing and playing, and then now she gone. Just reminded me of how fast things can happen. Because remember I said, in the blink of an eye, your whole life can change. And God allowed me to still be here, but some didn't make it. And so that just got me, that was an eye opener on so many levels. But yesterday I was real hurt. And then like I said, I was, like you really called me. And I remember saying, I just didn't think I was that important. I just didn't think that. But we all are important, especially in God's kingdom, because he don't love one no more than he loves the other. And sometimes you may not think you're doing or think that you really impact or help somebody. But sometimes you really do. And it saddens me how it always takes death to appreciate someone. Sometimes it takes death to give people their flowers. Sometimes, like we said, it took death to realize that you have really impacted so many people. And 4 years later, still, everywhere I go, it's always a butterfly. Or I always say, oh, you the girl from social media. Or, oh, I love your story. Or, oh, I follow you. And that's 4 years later. So we got to do better about ourselves, for ourselves, and to help others love, learn, and grow. And with that, I shall. Thank you, thank you. Miss Kylie, what you say? Thank God for Psalm 91. Thank God, glory, 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 glory. Look at here on here, right? 15 text messages. Greater is he, yes, yes, yes. Amen, amen. What grade is, wait a minute. What grade is he? That isn't, oh, okay, my bad. You was spelling it right, okay. Yeah, the devil was busy. Butterfly Nation, yes, yes, yes. Wow, that was big of you to not pop them. Oh, let's hear it. Yeah. Yeah, because and it wasn't about big or small or trying to or not, but people, you have a natural reflex sometimes, and you don't even be trying to do nothing or start nothing. And sometimes it especially when you was a fighter, you feel me, and you was used to fighting with your physical hands. You've been in the streets. You've been in prison. So, yes, I have a defensive reaction because I've been in defensive situations. and surroundings. And in that moment, you could have really done something. It could have been a real cause and effect. And then I would have been wrong. Uh-huh. Not that about that. But because that, that they had these different levels of that. So you ain't a member. You ain't a minister. I mean, you minister, deacon, and you in the pulpit. So you should definitely know better. You should not even be operating in no kind of spirit like that. That should be way beyond you. That shouldn't even be a factor of being so fleshly and humanly and cordial-minded. Yeah, because you know better. So you would have did better. But then if I would have popped you, that I would have been wrong. So I'm advising people to reevaluate themselves. That's it. That's all. And we have to do a self-evaluation on self because self plays a part in every situation, whether it's good or bad. We play a part. And don't let yours be bad. Now, take the Lord with you, and the rest will follow. Put on your full armor because we are definitely under attack. I'm looking at this thing now. TikTok want to talk. Lord have mercy. I guess it recorded. It say, I don't know what they were listening to. I don't know what they were looking at. But look, when I was trying to find that song, when I was just trying to find that song to play, y'all, it came out the second part. And I just had put it on this phone, remember? But I had heard the first part. Look, now we just light a gag. I'm finna get ready to get up and go start my day. I gotta tell y'all about your boy Lonzo. I'll tell y'all that after court. Hold on. Every Sunday morning it's the same old thing. A whole congregation that's still stuck in their ways. You supposed to say the sinners got run them away. It's gonna take more than speaking in tongues to get through them days. The word is still judge every day. How your Holy Ghost feel, but still spilling out hate. Can they keep the church or play on my faith? So this Sunday morning I'ma go anyway. Hey man, something gotta change, Lord. No, it ain't right. Yeah, look, on Sunday morning, I'ma go anyway. Now, with that I shall. I love y'all, I love y'all, I love y'all.